Today, we're going to unpack a massive paradigm shift in how independent property inspections are actually done, using some brilliant insights from the specialist at iNMOspector. It's totally redefining how buyers protect themselves. So, right off the bat, what's the absolute most expensive mistake you can make in Spanish real estate? You're probably thinking it's buying a house with a caved-in roof, right? Or maybe some hidden damp or totally shot plumbing. Actually, scratch that. It's way more foundational. The most costly error is making a massive financial decision without complete 100% transparency. Rushing to close the deal without getting an independent expert assessment is pretty much a fast track to some brutal, unforeseen costs down the road. And this is absolutely crucial right now because we're seeing a massive influx of international buyers flooding into the Spanish market. We're talking retirees, investors, and expats from the UK, Germany, the Netherlands, France, and the US. And these folks are facing a really unique set of hurdles. I mean, they're navigating a different language, a completely different legal system, unfamiliar property norms, and a local market that is just incredibly easy to get completely lost in. Because of all this complexity, research consistently highlights that international buyers share three very specific, very real fears. Number one, just finding the right property. Number two, finding professional support they can actually trust. And number three, figuring out if the estate agents are actually reliable. These aren't just sort of vague, abstract worries. They are real, tangible vulnerabilities. Buyers know they desperately need someone who is 100% in their corner. Okay, moving to our first major concept, judgment versus true transparency. Let's look at how the traditional idea of a property inspection is getting completely flipped on its head. There is this huge misconception out there that an inspector's job is basically to play referee, to give a property a simple pass or fail, and just tell you to either buy it or run away. But true independent methodology doesn't do that at all. It focuses entirely on handing you a crystal clear, honest, and technically precise picture of the situation. It's all about moving away from subjective judgment and shifting entirely toward objective facts about the physical and legal reality of the home. We hand you a map. You decide where to go. I absolutely love this quote. It brilliantly illustrates the core philosophy of independent inspectors like iNMOspector. They aren't there to make the choice for you. They just turn the lights on so you can see what's actually there. Their whole job is to arm you with comprehensive data so you are completely empowered to make the right call for your own future, completely free from any sales pressure. Next up, the anatomy of Spanish inspections. So, what does a truly comprehensive safety net actually look like when you're buying abroad? Well, it's kind of like a giant puzzle. And to get complete clarity, a thorough inspection breaks down into 5 distinct pieces. First, the technical inspection looks at the bones, the structure, roofing, and plumbing. Then, the legal urbanistic report digs into the land registry, building permits, and zoning stuff. After that, a valuation makes sure you're paying a fair market price, not just whatever they're asking. Energy efficiency handles the legal certificates. And finally, a pest diagnosis checks for biological risks, like termites. The big takeaway? True transparency means looking at the property from literally every possible angle. And this totally comprehensive methodology is happening all across the country. There's a really strong focus right now on the culturally rich and super sought-after interior and northern coast, what's known as Green Spain, covering Galicia, Asturias, Cantabria, and Extremadura. But the service also covers the islands and the rest of the country, meaning no matter where your real estate journey takes you in Spain, you can get this level of independent expertise. Now, to put this into perspective, an independent service, like an energy certificate, for example, starts at just €249 and then scales up if you need the full technical and legal reports. When you compare that to the massive financial ruin it protects you from, like, say, accidentally buying an illegally built extension or a house with failing foundations, it's a vanishingly small price to pay for absolute peace of mind. All right, let's talk about the unseen transaction risks. Because sometimes the absolute biggest dangers aren't hiding in the bricks, the mortar, or even the legal paperwork. Let's look at a real-world case study to really get a feel for this. Imagine finding a property that looks flawless on paper. I mean, it checks every single box. After weeks of detailed, expensive professional work, the technical check passes with flying colors. The legal and urbanistic report comes back squeaky clean. Even the valuation lines up perfectly with the asking price. By every traditional metric, this is a massive green light, right? Well, here's where transparency throws a total curveball. It occasionally reveals something that changes the entire picture. In this specific case, the building itself didn't fail the test. It was the people behind the sale. The unexpected variable and the primary obstacle turned out to be the seller's agent. This agent made the transaction practically impossible through sheer hostile behavior. We're talking aggressive responses when pressed for basic details, totally dismissive of perfectly legitimate questions, and completely evasive when asked for standard documentation. On top of that, they were pressuring and coercive toward the buyers. This kind of conduct is a screaming red flag. It signals that either something major is being hidden or they just have zero respect for the buyer's interests. The feeling of trust or its conspicuous absence. This is such a massive takeaway for anyone buying abroad. Property transactions are at their core about trust and professionalism, and when those are missing, it severely compromises the whole shebang. No amount of structural integrity or perfectly filed paperwork is going to fix a transaction that's being conducted in bad faith. Which brings us to our final concept, the power of walking away. What happens when the property is perfect, but the deal itself is toxic? Well, the outcome of that case study is incredibly telling. Even after investing real time and real professional fees, and even though they genuinely loved the physical house, the clients decided to step back and walk away. And the crazy thing? According to the independent experts, it was absolutely 100% the right decision to make. Sometimes the most important thing an independent inspection process reveals is that the environment around a deal is fundamentally wrong. That really captures the true value of independence here. An inspector who isn't relying on a commission check can give you the objective space to see that walking away isn't a failure. It's a totally valid, highly protective outcome. It proves that inspections do way more than just check the walls. They give you the full context of what you're actually signing up for. Clarity is the service. What you do with it is yours. Ultimately, getting that unbiased, comprehensive picture gives you the ultimate protection. It gives you the peace of mind to make informed decisions without someone breathing down your neck to close a sale. The independence of the assessment means your interests are the only ones being prioritized. You get the clarity, the final call is entirely yours. So I'll leave you with this thought to chew on for your own future real estate adventures. If you are armed with total transparency, even after sinking time and money into the process, would you have the confidence to walk away from a bad deal? Recognizing the true value of an independent perspective is literally step one for a safe, successful property purchase in Spain. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and keep learning.